Good morning, traders. Welcome to StockCast. My name is Todd Derby, along with my co-host, James Mason. James, how you doing this morning?
Todd, I'm doing well. How are you doing today?
Doing well. I was just watching that ticker we were going to talk about and how it died off real quick, so that's why it caught me off guard there.
Yes, so the ticker we were just kind of watching here pre-market, right when the show was just starting up, was ticker DBGI, Delta Bravo, Golf India. And they announced an acquisition, and it spiked and just got crushed.
Yeah.
So that thing
didn't last long at all, did it?
No, like what, maybe a minute?
That would even be a long time.
Yeah. So, all right, everybody, let's go ahead and get into it. So currently the Dow Futures are up 129 points. S&P 500 is up 22.5 points. And with yesterday's sell-off, actually the last week's worth of sell-off, we're probably going to have a bullish day, I would kind of expect. Let's see, jobless claims were released this morning. I think they went up to 238,000, if I'm not mistaken. Where is it at? Oh, 286,000. So jobless claims raised for third straight week to 286,000. And I mean, could that have an effect on the stock market? You know what? Back in the day, I would have said absolutely. But now, you know what? The stock market does what Jerome Powell says it's going to do.
No kidding.
So, other than that, another macro event, Todd, that is actually taking place is President Biden said that he thinks that President Putin of Russia will order an invasion of Ukraine.
Did he slip when he said that, or was that actually a full press release? I didn't see that.
That's a comment by him. I mean, I don't know if that was scripted or not.
Yeah, I think it was something he slipped in. He let slip, and the news was like, "Oh, is this a precursor to what he's really thinking is going to happen?"
Yeah. So I don't know. That would be interesting. I'll tell you right now, the United States is not prepared to fight another war. No way. It's, the situation that we're in financially as a country. What do you do? I mean, all the money that we spent on 2 other wars and to jump in to try to save Ukraine. Ukraine might have a different name in a couple months called Russia. So,
the thing.
Adios, Ukraine.
All right.
Well,
what's going on in the market today, James?
Oh man, pre-market news is just so daggone dry lately. I mean, we have the market's still talking about pretty much the Microsoft deal in the other older, bigger news. I mean, that's pretty much how the news is. Like, you'll have one big decent of event, and then everybody wants to talk about it for a week because there's nothing else to talk about. And that's all you can do. Everybody is still trying to push out articles about COVID. Good Lord, I'm so sick and tired of hearing about COVID. And anything in the bio sector that's COVID related, anytime it pops, man, it gets crushed. So I think COVID is completely priced into the market. That's just my opinion.
So if it's priced in, when they solve the COVID situation, meaning that they stop calling it a pandemic, start calling it I think the term is endemic, when it's on the backside. Do we see a pop or a boost in the market because COVID's already priced in?
It's so hard to say, because even though we've technically have entered, well, I'll talk about the NASDAQ market. Even though the NASDAQ has technically entered the correction phase since we've pulled back 10% already, the market is still so high. And if we like move on from this, like, what is the market just going to keep going up? You know, like what's there to look forward to? And really, that's actually how the market plays with a lot of things. I mean, the market always needs something to look forward to. And if the market doesn't have anything to look forward to, then only bad stuff can move the market. I mean, I guess that's really not so much factual, more so an opinion of mine, but that's the way I've always kind of seen it. Like when the whole pandemic hit, the hope was a vaccine for COVID, and what the vaccine will do, getting everybody back to work, and then the government coming in and pumping up the market, and that's why we saw that insane recovery. But at this point, with inflation, it's just like screaming, and inflation is going to get worse. We have this bizarre labor force issue where people are just quitting. They're quitting because they don't like their boss. Or now some people are definitely justified in quitting just crappy jobs. But I'm not talking about them. I'm just kind of talking about the whole labor market as a whole, and just how many people are just leaving the workforce. And I've said this a couple times already. When the crypto little bullish run happened, there was 4% of the labor force who had made so much money trading crypto just because they were holding on to it that they quit. They left. They made so much money trading crypto, they packed up and quit. And when you have 4% of the workforce leave, 4%, that's a lot. Like, how can you replace 4% of the job market? And then on top of it, people just saying, hey, this job as a barista sucks. I want to quit because I'm not getting paid enough. I'm going to pursue my dream and walk dogs part-time. Like that article I mentioned last week. I don't know. The world is bizarre.
And really, someone needs to sit these people down and be like, listen, when you turn 55, 60 years old, what is your health insurance going to look like? And what's your retirement going to look like? Because otherwise, you're going to still be a freaking barista at 64 years old.
I think those people are expecting the system to take care of them.
Well, that's what they're being trained for, which is a bad omen for the rest of us.
Yeah. Basically, we'll be taking care of them.
So let's talk about the market yesterday. The market showed us a green opening and then did a head fake early on, and you were long on your SPY calls, and you flipped short, and the market really showed its true colors. Ended up pretty red for the day. And today, and let me look here real quick. When I sent out my newsletter this morning, the market was up about 100 plus points. I'm not sure what it's doing right this moment. Can we trust the market anymore?
Well, I mean, I've been screaming for forever and a day about the market going to pull back. And I told y'all like 2 weeks ago, I'll just keep saying this every day, and I'm going to be right. And then I'm going to say, I told y'all. And look, I told y'all. So now yesterday, okay. So if you remember yesterday, I was talking about my SPY calls that I was honestly, I was stressing. I had a ton of SPY calls that I was swinging, and they were short-term expiration, which is just something I normally don't do. Actually, I don't do it.
And you don't hold overnight either.
Yeah, I was stressing it, and I started regretting it because the market started selling off, and I was holding all of these. I was actually holding 75 SPY calls, and it started selling off after hours, and I was just hating life. And then I was glad it moved up. Now, the reason why I done it was because we have created a feature for the StockCast social network that will be released sometime this year. in the feature. I don't know if I'm going to call it the eye, but it literally is the eye, the all-seeing eye. But anyways, the eye, I'm just going to call it the eye right now. This all-seeing eye that we have created, we have figured out how to, I don't know if I want to use this word, but I'm going to use it anyways. But we have figured out how to manipulate certain data to see what certain wells are trading, like how they're trading against each other, and actually what positions that they are holding, both long and or short. And then we compare it, those trades to each other, and come up with the calculations. And on Tuesday, at the very end of the day, they were positive $500 million on the long side of SPY. And I've never seen that much money in one direction on their trades. And I was like, what the heck? Like, something must be up here. Something's going to happen bullish. And at the very end, with the sharp pullback, they doubled down. And that's so weird for them to double down. They literally went from 500 million to the long side to over 1 billion in the long side. It actually got up to 1.1 billion overall. And I was like, man, they're swinging this. And they were holding over 1 billion, between shares and option contracts to the long side. And I was like, man, they're going to make this thing run. Well, at this point in after hours on Tuesday, I was not feeling that way anymore. I was getting pretty irritable about it. And then pre-market, I was watching it and it went up and I was like, oh, okay, cool. But then the market opened yesterday and I was watching this thing. And I already had these trend lines drawn out, these support and resistance lines. And I was watching how it was going up here and it pulled back, got rejected and came down here and it bounced. And it was just chopping back and forth. And like I said, I had a ton of calls on this. So I was getting a little uneasy and I started thinking, I was like, man, yesterday they were 1 billion to the positive side, the long side. And I started looking at our system because obviously I can see it on our back end. It's not released to the public, but on our back end, I can see it, the information. And I was watching this thing and they actually were selling off. At this point, they had sold off about $180 million worth of their position. And I was thinking, I was like, they're taking profits. And every time it would come up to this range, they would sell more and more and more. And I was like, man, I need to take this. So I was actually trying to wait, and I had a little bit of profit. It wasn't too great. And I waited too long. And when it pulled back, I actually pulled back right here on this candle. And I covered for just a small loss. And I let it do its thing and it bounced and went up here. And when it came up here, I started warning the TTBB members, obviously I told them I got out, and I told them my reason why, but then I reversed it. I made a bearish alert, and man, we crushed it because they started selling off like damn crazy. And we rode this thing down. It came back up here, and then we crushed it for a second time. So 2 solid day trades yesterday just by watching how they were trading against each other. And you know what? You know the saying, rocking out with our stock out. You thought I was going to say something else, Todd, didn't you?
No, I didn't. I was like, where's this going? Okay, I'll rock it out. Tell people have a couple suggestions. Tashina likes to call it whale watching. I think that's something you referred to, which is a kind of I might like that.
Well, I won't do that because people are going to mistake it with unusual wells, and literally, guys, we create our own products. We don't buy data, we don't buy APIs from somebody else and plug it into our system and say, hey, look what we created. When those people who do that, they don't create shit. They're just
Jamie's saying you should call it I Spy.
We'll probably get sued on that one if there's already a product named that. But yeah, so many people, I'll be honest, it irks the hell out of me. So many people, Ion, thank you for the super sticker.
He put that in there for the vote for the eye.
Oh, okay. But this absolutely kills me. Like when people think that like we just buy data and plug it in and they get that data. No, we create our own stuff. Like our calculations, it's all the stuff that we have created, and we don't take anybody else's shit. They're selling that because it's shit. If they're selling it like to other companies, it sucks. There's no edge. That's why we don't sell our calculations to anybody.
All right, let's go to the comments. There's a couple stickers. We didn't really hit the comments early enough yesterday. We kind of raced through them. Billy Mitchell's asking about, can we look at ticker CENN?
CENN. Oh, this is
Is this an alert?
No, this is Naked. Well, it is. Well, this is a long-term hold for me. This is the Naked brand company.
All right.
I mean, what's the question exactly?
That is the question. Can we take a look at Sen? So you could say, "Yep, we just did. Thank you." just mess with you, Billy.
I mean, the chart looks like crap. I mean, it's obvious, but the reason why this is long-term hold for me is this company right here. If you've done any due diligence on them, they were already successful before they did the reverse merger with the Naked brand company. And the reason why they wanted to do that reverse merger, it was just to get onto the stock exchange. It's so much cheaper to reverse merge than to IPO. Like, depending on what kind of company you are, like it could be like $25 million cheaper. So what these companies do when they want to get onto the market, they'll find some crap company like Naked brand, because if you remember the Naked brand, they were doing like apparel and then they were doing other stuff before. It was just a crap company. And so they chose them, reverse merged. And really now it's just going to be, you have a lot of retail traders who were expecting this to spike and go to the moon after the official reverse merger happened, and retail traders just have unrealistic expectations. Things don't go their way, you'll start seeing them scream and cry, and then they'll start selling off and just bleed it down. Now, whenever this selling stops and kind of levels out and this company starts to release their financials, I think that will actually start picking this thing up, because these guys already have orders. Like, they've been having orders and selling EV vehicles on the market. Now, I don't think that they'll be a rival to Tesla, but these guys are already huge in like Europe, New Zealand, places like that. They already have an established market, and they're opening up in the United States. So I do believe these guys will be a strong contender in the EV market in the long run. It's going to be a while, possibly like a 2-year hold on this one. That's just my opinion.
All right. We're about 8 minutes from the start of the market. Space Milk's asking about ticker POAI. And I've had several people contact me privately saying, hey, price is trading around 88, 89 cents. What are you doing? I'm doing the exact same thing I was doing when I was trading around $1.05 and $1.20. I'm holding. My position has not changed. So,
I mean, what it was the other day when they had that spike, I added an additional 40,000 shares, and I added between $1.04 and $1.10. And then it freaking dropped right after I bought all that shit. It's so pissed off, man.
Yeah. I'm not happy with the company and how they're handling their distribution of information, but I'm also not ignoring the fact that I believe in their product, and I believe where they're headed is going to be profitable for my life and my portfolio. I'm just, boy, I wish they would do things differently, but nothing's changed for me. And I'm in a situation where I'm still able to trade and do some other stuff. So where I know a lot of people are 100%, this is their play, and they're like, man, this is just taking a long time. It is, but it's hopefully when it goes, it's going to go and be nice. So, but to answer your question, Space Milk, that's what's going on in my opinion.
Yeah, none of that. There's not really too much to say about it. I mean, the PPS value does piss me off. It really does.
Yeah.
They need to figure it the hell out. They need to figure out how to release their information the best way. I think that's one of the big issues here. So
we're about 6.5 minutes away from the market. Any final thoughts? Anything you want to wrap up on?
If the market does go bullish today, guys, just be careful with trying. I mean, I can't tell you what to do. You obviously need to make up your own decisions. But if I were going to swing something to the long side, thinking I was buying the dip, I sure in hell would not be doing it with options. Because if the market does drop, which I fully expect it to bounce right in here. Hold on, this is not right. There we go. S&P 500. I fully expect the market to bounce somewhere right in here, come up here, get rejected, and just drop again. The last thing you want to hold is swinging calls, and then the market crashes on you, because those things will be absolutely worthless. At least if you have shares, you can hold on to them for forever and put them in your will for your kids in case if it never bounces back. So, yeah, just keep that in mind, guys. And use a stop loss. Seriously, use a freaking stop loss. The market is pretty volatile right now, if you haven't realized yet. But Todd, that is all I have for today. Do you have anything else?
Yeah, no, nothing else. I feel like we didn't deliver a whole lot today because there's not a whole lot in the market. So apologies to that. But as I mentioned many times before, sometimes the best trade is no trade. If you're not sure, be smart, be safe, and protect your capital.
Absolutely. So, all right, everybody. Thank you for tuning in today. We'll catch y'all in the next one. And hey, use that stop loss. So thank you for tuning in, and we will catch y'all later.